The Purple Wedding is one of the most celebrated moments in A Song of Ice and Fire. Joffrey Baratheon, the most hated king in Westeros, chokes to death at his own wedding feast, in front of his mother, his new bride, and half the lords of the realm. Justice, the fandom cheered, poetic even. But here's the question nobody asks. Why there? Why then? Why like that? Because when you actually look at how the poison was administered, who arranged the pieces, and who walked away with everything they wanted, the picture that emerges is deeply unsettling. Joffrey Baratheon was not the target. Tyrion Lannister was. The conventional reading goes like this. The Tyrells wanted Joffrey dead because Margaery was walking into a nightmare marriage with a sadistic, unstable king. They reached out to Littlefinger. Littlefinger supplied the poison, the strangler, smuggled into the wedding in the amethysts of Sansa's hairnet. Dontos Hollard, his agent, handed Sansa the hairnet. One crystal is palmed and dissolved into Joffrey's wine. Mission accomplished. It's clean. It's plausible. And Littlefinger more or less confirms it to Sansa in the Eyrie. Except, it isn't clean at all. And that should bother us. Let's think about the Tyrells for a moment. Olenna Tyrell did not build one of the most powerful houses in Westeros by being reckless. She is sharp, patient, and precise. If the Tyrells wanted Joffrey dead, they had options. Slow poison over weeks, a hunting accident, a tourney mishap. They had access to the king every single day. Instead, the poison is administered at the wedding feast, in public, in a way that immediately triggers a spectacle. Joffrey is turning purple in front of everyone. His queen, his mother, the Dornish delegation. And who is holding the cup? Tyrion. Tyrion Lannister, the man Joffrey has just publicly humiliated by forcing him to serve as his cupbearer, is standing there with the cup the king just drank from. And the king is dying. The Tyrells are not stupid enough to create that scene. Not unless the goal was never to just kill Joffrey. Consider what Petyr Baelish actually wanted going into that wedding. He wanted Sansa Stark, not just possession of her. He wanted her unmarried. And she was married to Tyrion Lannister. A marriage that Tywin had forced, that Sansa despised, and that, crucially, had not yet been consummated. Tyrion had refused to touch her against her will. That marriage was still breakable if Tyrion were dead, and if Tyrion were executed for regicide, for murdering the king he was visibly humiliated by while holding the very cup the king drank from. There would be no investigation, no nuance, no mercy. Cersei would see to that. Littlefinger didn't need to frame Tyrion. The staging would do it automatically. Walk through the mechanics again with this lens. The strangler is in Sansa's hairnet, given to her by Dontos Hollard, who is Littlefinger's creature paid entirely by him. Sansa doesn't know what she's carrying. The Tyrells may have had a plan of their own. Olenna fondles that hairnet at the feast, and one crystal goes missing. But here's the thing. Olenna may have believed she was executing a Tyrell plan while actually executing Littlefinger's. He gave her the means and the opportunity. She thought she chose the moment. But the moment, Tyrion as cupbearer, the public humiliation, the spectacle, that framing was baked in from the start. Littlefinger knew Joffrey well enough to predict the cruelty. He knew Tyrion would be made to serve. He knew Cersei would need someone to blame. He knew exactly where the cup would end up. And then, the boat is already waiting. Before Joffrey hits the floor, Dontos has appeared to whisk Sansa away. The ship is there, Littlefinger is there. He had timed Sansa's escape to coincide with the assassination. This is not improvisation, this is a plan months in the making, executed to the minute. He then kills Dontos immediately after. No loose ends. This doesn't mean the Tyrells were innocent. Olenna almost certainly did palm that crystal and drop it in the wine. She believed she was saving her granddaughter. But the Tyrells wanted Joffrey quietly dead, replaced by the more manageable Tommen, with Margaery still queen. A public spectacle at the wedding was a disaster for them. It put Margaery under immediate suspicion. It nearly destroyed the alliance with the throne. That's not what a careful player like Olenna designs. She was used, handed the poison and the moment, while Littlefinger ensured Tyrion would be standing exactly where he needed to be. Two plots running simultaneously. One of them didn't know about the other. We've been asked to see the Purple Wedding as a Tyrell operation with Littlefinger as a supplier. But suppliers don't build escape boats in advance. Suppliers don't arrange the seating. Suppliers don't kill their own agents the moment the deed is done. Littlefinger didn't just supply the poison. He designed the entire event. The staging, the fall guy, the exit. Joffrey's death was a side effect. A necessary one, yes, but Tyrion's destruction was the objective. And Sansa, free of her Lannister husband, freshly traumatized and entirely dependent, was the prize. The most dangerous man in Westeros didn't kill a king at a wedding. He killed a marriage. The king just got in the way. If you enjoyed this theory, join the Friends of the First Men. And let me know in the comments. Was Tyrion the real target all along?